Three with
Session
my gimpy
3.
hand. 3.
1, 2. Trace.
Yes.
And
Session
it's
3.
the worst one.
Oh,
it is.
I know.
You have to say no, you can't say no. Like it is. It's going to be really big. It's going to be challenging.
It's going to be a big one. So, so session 3 on worthiness, and as I've been thinking about it, I'm thinking, we were very smart. We didn't even realize we were very smart, but we were very smart because I think it's very logical for us to talk about worthiness after we talked about self-love.
Right.
Because you have to have a strong sense of self-love to be able to really appreciate your worthiness.
Well, I think identify is the word.
Yeah, identify.
Because there's a lot, and before we even get started, I just want to say too, we are not telling you what worthiness means to you.
No.
This is an opportunity for us to all sit and discuss what it means in different ways to different people. I know a lot of times when we talk about this kind of stuff, this is just a really big topic, I think, for you, for me, for everyone. And just to know that this is not to tell you how to do it or tell you what it means. It's just what we've seen in our experience of it, and hopefully that can help translate to you and maybe help figure out what worthiness means to you, because I just know that worthiness is something that a lot of people try to tell you. If you listen to people all the time, it will almost feel like they're telling you what your worth is, and no one should be able to tell you what your worth is. Does that make sense? A lot of people, when you're going through life and going through challenges, it's do this or do that, or you feel this, you feel that. This is just a way to open up and have that conversation about how we try to identify worthiness for ourselves, and maybe it'll help you identify it for yourself in your own way.
For sure. And I think, the whole way along, our goal is to basically just explain our experiences and our struggles, and maybe make a connection that if I'm having the struggle and you're having a struggle, then maybe somebody else is having the same struggle.
Definitely.
And so intention wise is certainly to hopefully maybe make you identify with us a little bit, and say, hey, I have that same situation, and maybe just think about it a little bit more, maybe in a new way because of the conversation. So worthiness has been something for me that I have, I think, had an issue is a big word, I guess, or maybe a strong word. A challenge. Because I think for sure as we grow up, as I grew up, I think we are always trying to sort of prove that what we bring to the table is valuable.
Right.
And as a young child, as a teenager, I struggled with that a lot. And having, done some self-reflection and stuff, I really have come to I've embraced the idea that we are worthy. I am worthy just by the fact that I'm sitting here, just by my presence. I am worthy. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of belonging. I'm worthy of being a part of whatever it is that I want. And that's a big jump for me, from going from, thinking that I have to prove that my presence is valuable, to just making the internal pledge that my presence, by just virtue of my presence, I'm worth being there, or being part of, or being in a relationship, or in a whether it's professional or personal or familial. You're the fact that you're there is is there's worth in that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And I think it does stem back to a lot of childhood memories. You're growing up, you're learning, you're becoming who you are. And I think especially, in those teenage years, you have your parents, your friends, you have all these people, you're learning, you're growing, you're changing, but that's kind of like a breakthrough that not a lot of people can see. But when you look back on it, you're like, oh, those were moments I probably should have thought of,
Sure.
And so it's, very, very challenging to have people tell you that you need to fit into a mold, that you need to do this, do that. They are trying to help teach you to learn how to become an adult. But in turn, I think sometimes that goes a little bit deeper, and it kind of pulls into that self-love and that self-worth, because you almost feel, or at least I felt like I was being pushed down. I felt like I was, I've always been told that I'm too loud, I'm too open, I'm too aggressive, and all these things. As you can tell, my hands are everywhere. So I was always felt like I had to be pushed down. It always felt that, it had to be a certain way all the time until I got into my 30s, which is where I really started to do a lot of self-reflection, which has been it's been so hard and so tough. And what I've learned is that it's not just as you get older, it's a constant identifying, understanding, and transitioning, because I'm not who I was when I was 12.
Yeah.
I'm not who I was when I was 24, 5, whatever. And I'm still growing each and every day and learning about what I truly feel is my worth, because I think that changes. Your self-love is who you are, and you're appreciating who you are, which is constantly moving. And your worth, it always is the same. It's always the same quantity. Like, your worth is still strong and all that stuff, but maybe you know better in different certain types of scenarios or situations. Like, I'm worth more than what I'm being given, or whether that's a relationship. And I think, like Amy discussed, whether it's a personal relationship or business relationship, and it's not even about external relationships, it's you too. You always have to kind of redirect to yourself. The self-reflection for me, I think we discussed this last time, was meditation. And you don't have to meditate. You don't have to do, all the different music and things like that. But just taking a few minutes, a few moments out of your day to kind of take a step back, that's really helped, honestly, too, with my anger, because I always felt like I was I couldn't understand. I couldn't push out what I was trying to say, or, push out my worth, push out my self-love to others, let them know who I was or what I wanted, needed, and, felt from within. And so to take those few moments, to take those few breaths, and redirect internally, and know that I am worthy. That I have the love from within, that it doesn't matter about the external things that I cannot change. I know what I want, what I believe in, and I know what I need to succeed. And so that's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
It's easy to just speak it out, but it is not easy. But it is, man, oh man, is it a lot of fun. After you feel it, it's like, whoa.
Well, and I think when and I was like writing some stuff down this morning, and I was thinking about kind of what you said about it's not always external. A lot of times it comes from internally appreciating your worth, and honoring it. And where you were talking about meditation sort of refocuses you on honoring it. I think a lot of times positive self-talk, like the things that you got going on in your head. For me, if my positive self-talk goes wonky, then I'm just trying to prove my worth, like you were saying, like to outwardly. If I'm not setting the right boundaries, then it is constantly me trying to prove that I'm worthy. And if I maintain those boundaries and that sort of positive self-talk, it puts me back in that place that I am worthy just by my function of being here, of just my presence. I am worthy. Now, again, very, very difficult to stay in those in that mindset.
Yes.
Very, very difficult, because you've got a lot of outward influences and a lot of things and a lot of long-standing patterns of behavior that that we all bring with us that is that are challenging. I think for me, the first real time that I kind of understood and honored the fact that I am sort of worthy just by being here was when I opened the store and made the choice to kind of take that part, the professional part of my life, in my own hands, and have confidence in the fact that I am worthy to be able to make this dream happen, and that I can take control of that. I was very fearful. I'd always wanted to do something like that, and I never had the opportunity, or never had not the opportunity, but I never had the confidence. And so I think that was a big step for me to be able to say, you know what, I can do this. And all of the struggles and the benefits that come from it are worth it to me. So I think that because I was able to sort of tap in at the time to be able to say, I want to be able to do this, and I am all of the ideas and the things that I had to bring to fruition. It may not have been agreed upon by everybody, but because I was feeling the worth that I brought to the table, it gave me the confidence to do it. Or maybe I had the confidence and then the worth came next.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sort of...
It all kind of blends together,
Yeah.
I think. It's not blend, but it's almost... So I had my aha moment of worthiness only like a few weeks ago. So I was talking to my therapist, which I'm a total promoter for. Please go talk to somebody because you're trusting in someone. And I think that that's good to trust in someone to have these kind of conversations with, and she allowed me to talk it out. I was just talking myself in circles.
For sure.
And one of the things is that I'm a perfectionist. I think we all know that. I beat myself up on the regular. And I'm always just like, I want people to feel loved. That's why I went into my business. I love to inspire people. I love to motivate people. It pains my heart when I see that someone doesn't feel loved or they don't feel like they matter. That is such a huge sensitive topic for me. And I want to do better for them. I want to be better for them. And I want to try and go and do and all these things until I burn myself so far down that I actually can't even get out of bed most days because I'm just so tired. And what we came around to the conclusion of, just talking in the circle, is that I wanted this worth and love for others because I wanted it for myself.
Yeah.
Because I never gave it to myself.
That's aha.
And it was, again, kind of like the circle, talking in circles, and I really wanted it for myself too, and I never could find it. And then once I did that, I had like a breakdown. I was just like, I was like, oh, I don't want to, I'm not coming back. No. But it was so cool. Yeah, you know me, I'm like, oh, don't really like me. But it was so cool because you should practice what you preach. And I preach this every single day, especially to the women that I work with and everyone that I'm around. I promote them to find self-love, to find their worthiness, whatever that may be. And in turn, I should be doing that for myself as well. So it doesn't have to be, back when you were younger. It could be when you're older. You could start now. It's so different for everyone. And that's why I was saying that earlier, we're not trying to give you like lists and things, and we're just trying to give you our experiences, because I feel like the more experiences you hear, the more you start to think about your own personal experiences. And so hopefully today, tomorrow, whenever you listen to this and you're seeing us and the genuine, authentic things that we're speaking of, that can help you create your own dialogue within yourself to have that discussion. And if you ever feel like that discussion kind of gets off the rails, I know I'm like a tornado in my mind, so I can go really fast. Take a deep breath, take a few moments, and then also too, I gotta tell you, I love my inner circle like really hard. And I hope that everyone who listens to this and hears this has an inner circle. If you don't, please, like I said, call and get a counselor, get a life coach, get somebody that you can talk to genuinely about the things that you're feeling. And it's not so that they should never say that you're wrong or say that, you know, it's invaluable, but just have that safe space where you can have these questions and conversations to identify your self-worth. It's so cool once you, like I said, you spin around in your head. I was spinning around in my mouth, and then all of a sudden I got to the bottom of it, and it was so exhilarating, terrifying, and releasing that I've ever felt.
A lot of times when we've got all those things, you know, floating around in our head, to just have somebody that can let you download all that information is so incredibly freeing. And I think to be able to, whether it's friend group, whether it's a therapist, whether it's, you know, a
family
partner,
member,
whatever, to just have a place where you can just take all those things, like I was saying before about all that, you know, trying to keep your positive self-talk, like the things that you got going on in your head. If you can just get them out and talk about them, I think that's one of the reasons why we were so excited about doing this, is to hopefully make people realize that we are so much more alike than we are different. And
the entire world.
That even though we all are sort of walking our own journey, the struggles and the thoughts and the things that we think,
you're not alone.
You're not alone. And so I think for me, the takeaway on this is that we are worthy. I am worthy just by my function of being here on this earth and contributing in whatever way that I feel I can. And so that is kind of the basis for me on that, and then I sort of try to put it in action every day. Some days better than others, just like the whole self-love thing and, you know, everything else, but and
worthiness to me is figuring it out. Like, I'm at a new phase of that, and to find your self-worth is the most freeing thing that you could ever imagine. And so it's, you know, I'm very grateful to be here, that is the worth. But to me, I'm like, identify, like that. I keep saying the word identify because I haven't identified it until just recently. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I've noticed too that you know, I say no a lot more, and I feel like I know myself now more than anybody does. And that kind of intimidates people sometimes. I've noticed that, you know, sometimes people are like, well, wait, what's going on? Or wait, why are you back? And it's interesting to see, once you obtain self-love, once you identify your worthiness, how things kind of shift in your life. Just be accepting of that, be willing to grow with that, because that means that you're growing, and that means your life is changing. And kind of like what Amy was discussing about the positive mindset versus being scared. We all are scared. We're all intimidated of change. I think that that's just a human nature, but applying that positive reinforcement, that backing behind it, that I've come so far to only get this far. I think that's something that I've said in the past week or so. I'm like, I've worked too hard to get where I am today to fall back,
to go back
and feel guilty or shame because you know, I'm changing and rerouting to the actual me that's inside. So it's just, I feel like it takes time. I can't believe that I'm saying that. Can you believe I'm saying
that? It takes time.
I'm so quick and like, but I'm just like, wow, it just takes time. I'm the most impatient person ever.
Well, and I was just
So-
thinking, I think one of these upcoming sessions is about patience.
Oh,
I think so.
it's the next one.
I think it is the next one.
I'm telling you, it gets harder and harder, and I'm sitting here like sweating. I'm like, woo, gosh, I'm glad that we got over this one. This one was the worst one because I just found my word, and it's hard to like be open about that because some people are like, I know my, some people can throw it around, but we are so serious with it, and we are, and it's taken you such a long time to get where you are with it. And I'm like, just we aware. It's just so everybody's in different places. So you have to have those people who truly know and feel it. It's not just a word. That's what we were going to say. So she looked up the definition the other day.
I did.
And she was like, ooh,
I don't like the definition. I don't like the definition because the definition of it, if you look it up, the definition of it was almost conditional.
Yeah.
Like is something that you have to do to prove that you're a part of something. And I'm like, no.
Well, and that's why I was saying in the very beginning, like, let's be clear. There is not like a list or a to-do or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, it is not.
Yeah.
It is not a term. This is real, raw. This is so much more than just in the Webster.
Well, and I think that's why it connects with me so much when worthiness inherent is just because you're you. Mm-hmm. You are worthy of all the things that you desire because you're you. Mm-hmm. And that's a big thing. I just got chills. That's a big thing to really embrace. It's a different mindset than what I grew up with and what I maintained
I think a lot
for
of
a
people
long time.
grew up with. Yeah, it's definitely. I think that is very similar. I think that can relate to a lot of people for sure.
I read something that said that you are worthy by just being here, not by what you say and not by what you do. Mm-hmm. And it's a thing that I'm thinking about as it relates to my children, mm-hmm. as it relates to how I would interact in a relationship, how it would be, as I'm dealing with customers and dealing in my business, and it's a very big shift in mindset. It's a very big shift in mindset.
It is. And like I said, it takes time. So take
so
your time.
we're going to talk about patience next time.
Breathe with it. Like I said, I can't believe, I'm sure a lot of people who are listening to this are like, Lauren saying take time. But it really does. I mean, take a deep breath in and just know that it's going to be okay. And whatever you dig into, I'm digging right now. I'm digging internally, and it's kind of scary. It's like you're going out into the basement, and you're just not sure what you're going to find. So, my therapist, who is Kim Waters-Rose, I just love you. We talked about her last time. I'll talk about you again. But, she told me something that was so cool that I hope that will translate with all of you guys, is that it's okay to cry and it's okay to dig deep. And if you let it all out and let it all go, the emotion and the scaries and all those things will not last for that long. No. I was always afraid to open up, to dive deep, to go walk into the basement by myself without a flashlight. Mm-hmm. And finally I did it. Mm-hmm. And it was terrifying. And then all of a sudden it was like the lights came on and it was a big room of growth. And I didn't even think that could even be possible. And now I get to fill that up with all the things that I desire and all the things that I know I need to become a better person. So just know that you can just take your time.
Yep.
And it's not that scary.
No, it's not that scary.
You can do it.
You can do it. You can do it.
Find your worth, baby.
Yes.
You're worth it.
It's in there. Just there all the time.
Worth it.
Have a great day, everybody. And we will see you next time.
Farewell.